So a quick lesson on lens flare. There's a way to test for lens flare. If this is lens flare, then if we draw a cross, a perfect cross from corner to corner, so from there and there and there to there, then we draw a line from what we think is the source of the lens flare to the lens flare itself. That line should roughly cross the center of our X. So let's make an X. That's a little bit too thick, so let's bring the size down a bit. And we'll pick a different colour, let's say blue for the purple, and we'll try and put it roughly where we think the centre of the light source is, to the centre of the lens flare. And our line goes almost exactly through the middle, as expected. One commenter said, if it was lens flare caused by the part of the moon that's sticking out from behind the cloud, the lens flare is too diffuse. I completely disagree. Because the moon is partially behind a cloud, we should expect a slightly diffuse lens flare. If it was a perfectly revealed street light, for instance, causing the lens flare, then we'd expect, yes, a sharper edge to the lens flare, because it would be reflecting the sharp edge of the light bulb. But the moon is behind the clouds, or partially behind the clouds, which is diffusing that image, so the image reflecting in the lens is slightly diffused. Everything is consistent with this being lens flare. And I forgot a really important part of the this lens flare test is that not only should this line, if this is lens flare, pass through the center of the optical center of the frame, but also the lens flare should be the same distance from the center of the frame as the source of the lens flare is. So to better kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about, the distance from here to there, right, should be the same as the distance from here. Let me actually do this on a new layer. So this distance from here to here should be the same as there to there. So if I just drag this now, the distance from the lens flare to the optical center of the frame should be the same as from the source of the lens flare to the center of the frame. And it's exactly the same. Everything about this is consistent with lens flare.